All right, guys, look, we're glad you're here tonight. What we're going to do tonight, guys, we're going to talk about hunting the rut. My name's Don Bell, and we've been in the hunting industry for 31 years. And in fact, we do more seminars than anybody in the country. Do you guys see that truck outside that's skinned out there with the logos on it? We were talking to the guys right here. It's about, I don't know, 7, 8 weeks old. It's got 30,000 miles on it. And that's just going from one place. I was in Kansas last night. No, wait a minute, not Kansas. I was in, where did I tell you, Nebraska last night. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about hunting the rut, and we want you guys to feel perfectly at home and ask questions, okay? To begin with, I'm going to tell you two things. And when I tell you these two things, don't get up and walk out, hang tight with me, and it'll make sense in a little bit. There's about 12 to 14 million deer hunters in America. To put that in perspective, we're the largest standing army in the history of America, history of the world. America is. We're the only superpower in the world. We got about 1.5 million, 1.6 million under arms worldwide. There's 8, 9 times more deer hunters than the armed forces. And we live in every community in America. That's kind of scary, ain't it, back here? That's right. So a lot of us. Out of those 12, 14 million deer hunters, most hunters misunderstand two words. First is the word rut. Okay? And guys, listen, this is real important, and this is not a high-tech seminar. What we're going to talk about tonight is hunting the rut. You can't hunt what we don't know where it is. All right, so the first word is the word rut. Right now, somebody's phone goes off and it says, hey, Russia took out one of our fighter planes in Syria, and we're at war. So tomorrow morning, we're going to put 500,000 troops into Russia. Would everybody agree with me? It's real important to know where Russia is in the world geographically. We don't want to accidentally drop 500,000 troops, say, in China. They'd probably be ill with us. But not that it wouldn't be a bad idea, but they'd be ill, wouldn't they? All right, watch. Now, if we're going to fight Russia, do we fight Russia at her strengths or her weaknesses? Common sense says, if I'm going to, anybody in here over 6 foot tall? Dude, I spotted you. How tall are you? 6'6"? Just for giggles, is anybody over 6'6"? No? What's your first name? Sir, what's your first name? Jacob. Jacob, hope you got a sense of humor. You're going to be our dominant buck tonight. Hey, guys, don't laugh. We ain't picked the dough yet. All right. Jacob is 6'6". Jacob, stand up just a second. He's serious buck, all right? Jacob, you sit down if you want to. All right. If I was going to fight Jacob, I'm not going to go up and hit him in his head. Little guy like me, I'm going to eat his knees up, right? So you go at the weaknesses. All right. In order to hunt the rut, it assumes we know when it is. Most hunters don't. To prove my point, how many of you in here, when I say the word rut, what's the first thing you picture a buck doing? Anybody? Chasing does. Yeah. Well, but most are saying chase does. You're exactly right. All right, but guys, everybody look at me. That is not the rut. That's the peak of the rut. The rut anywhere in North America is broken into 3 periods. You have, where these guys are sitting, that you have pre-rut, you have the peak of the rut, and then you have post-rut. It's like a mountain. You climb up the mountain, you slide down the mountain. So you got pre, peak, post, right? Now watch this. Most people think this is the rut. That's not the rut, that's the peak of the rut. Did you know that a buck is in rut when he sheds velvet? I didn't say there was a doe in. I said that when a buck sheds velvet, he's in rut. By the way, what's opening day of bow season in Alabama? You might want to be real clear with that. Don't want to get it wrong. See, I'm standing back here. That's right. So when archery season opens in Alabama, are the majority of the bucks in or out of velvet? Out. If he's out of velvet, guess what? He's in rut. Now, you're thinking, now that's just absolutely crazy because you're thinking doe and estrus. And I'm not saying she's an estrus. Now, watch this. If season opens and he's out of velvet, and if he's in rut, that begs the question, well, how long is that sucker in rut? Did you know a buck's in rut from the time he sheds velvet all the way to the time he drops his horns? You can tell I'm from Alabama, can't you? I was careers from a Michigan guy. Michigan, they corrected me the other night. They said antlers. How many of you call them antlers? Where are you from? You from here? Okay. Most people around here, anyway. So what's the last legal day you can hunt Alabama? Get it right. January 31st. All right, I don't want to get in front of you. Right here is January 31st. They still have horns, antlers? Yeah. Guess what? He's in rut. If he's in rut from the time he sheds velvet to the time he drops his antlers, when is the rut in the state of Alabama? The entire hunting season. Now watch this. Most people think this is the rut. So if you think that this is the rut, when a buck's chasing a doe, you're missing 2/3 of the hunting season using rut tactics. And I want to show you something, and I'm serious as I can be. If they charged you $100 a pop, which they didn't, did you? And you got up and left right now, it'll change the way you hunt. Just understanding what I just said. Now watch this. Brings us to the second word, which is the word estrus. We're standing here like this, and they open the door, and all of a sudden, man, a buck busts through that door chasing a doe, and everywhere that doe goes, that buck goes, and you say, Don, look at that doe. That doe's in what? Heat. Estrus. Right, everybody look at me here. Nope, she is not. And I know you're thinking, God, dog, wait a minute, dude. You done busted up in here, and you can go back to Wilcox County, because up here in North Alabama, that sucker, this is a rut. No, he's in rut from the time he sheds velvet to the time he drops his antlers. When you see a buck chasing a doe, she is not in estrus. The word estrus means an animal will stand and not run. Dog, cat, watch this. How many of you ever chased? How many of you ever seen a buck chase a doe? TV, live? Anybody want to take a gander why that doe's running? She ain't ready. There's a distinction between coming in and being in. The peak of the rut is just that. It's the peak. It is when the majority of the does are standing and not running. There is a time in which on your property that the majority of the does are standing and not running. Okay? That is the peak. Okay? So in order to do this seminar, we need to understand these two words. Okay? So first name again? Jacob. You think I'd remember that, wouldn't you? All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to shoot Jacob in just a few minutes. All right? And here's the way we're going to do that. Is that the rut is into 3 periods. Now, what's crazy about this, guys, is that you guys, we all grew up in the Bible Belt. This gentleman's from the Michigan, and where's my other older gentleman? He was from where were you from? Indiana. You guys been down here, you know you're in the Bible Belt. Well, growing up in South Alabama, one Sunday morning would be a New Testament. Next Sunday morning would be an Old Testament. New, old, new, old. And I used to think as a child, dang, stay in one of these books and teach me this chronologically. That's what we're going to do tonight. Right now, today, outside of those windows, bucks are running together. Let's have a contest. Who's already seen bucks run together this year? All right, here's the contest. Who's seen more than 3? All right, 5. How many?
7.
6. 6, 7. And you know what's crazy about that? Is, you know, this time of year we're doing seminars. Of course, you know, you're already planting them food plots. So you're in the woods, you're trimming the tree stands, and you let's say Saturday you're in the woods and you're planting a food plot and you see these 6 bucks run together. Man, you get all excited. You come back to work Monday morning and you say, man, listen, dude, Jim, Saturday, man, I saw 5, 6 bucks running together. Man, they bunching up. Man, they bunching up. They're getting ready for deer season. No. It's called bachelor groups. The bucks you're seeing run together today started running together in February. Late, first part of February in Alabama. When season ended and you put your guns up, right? And you always like to acknowledge, you put your guns up and you're thinking about turkey hunting or fishing. Bucks started getting back together in bachelor groups. Bucks care more about other bucks than they do with the doe 99% of the year. Somebody take a wild guess when you think a buck is concerned with a doe. All right, so watch. What happens is, Jacob, right? Boy, that was, you see, that you can tell I was real authoritative with that. So what happens is, season ended in February, and these we're going to pick. You worried you're going to be a doe? I can see it in your eyes, dude. You say, "Oh, please." When you lock on them, then they're nervous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You 5 guys are going to be subordinate bucks. Now, if you're not, take it up with him after the seminar. But for seminar, be subordinate. All right, here we go. Season ended in February. Here's what happened. And notice, I'm carrying you chronologically through the season. And we're going to shoot this deer. February, bucks started getting the bachelor groups. And these little young teenage bucks right here, they went bopping up there to Mr. Big Buck and said, "Hey, Mr. Big Buck," said, "you got a job?" "No, man, I ain't got no job." Said, "Man, we ain't got no job either." Say, "Why don't we run down there to Jasper and we'll get us an apartment together and we'll bachelor up." Okay. Bucks started getting together in bachelor groups. And so what happens, all spring, these young bucks is learning about life at the foot of that buck right there. Just like these young boys and girls do at the foot of the fathers. Does that make sense? All right. So all spring, yes, sir, Mr. Jacob, no, sir, Mr. Jacob, they're doing a pretty good job. Been down here long enough to get that yes, sir, no, sir stuff? So what happens is, yes, sir, they're doing a pretty good job. Watch this. Summer comes along. High school lets out. I'm talking May, June, July. And these young boys right there, they start partying. Old Big Jacob's laying back up there, and he says, "Dog, if you're going to party, I'll show you where the big dog does." So Big Jacob, he starts partying with the young boys. Now, Jacob, listen to me, dude. How old are you? 33. All right, you married? So what? It's just us talking. Nobody's listening. So what happens is, old Jacob, he's bedded up there, and he says, "Look, girls, if you're going to party, I'll show you where the big dog does." So the big dog starts running with the little dogs, with the little bucks. And so, man, you're doing a pretty good job there, and you're hanging with them, and you showing them a few things. Late summer, August, late September, first part of October, right now, they come home one night and they say, "Big Jacob, get dressed, dude. We're going to," how far are we from Birmingham? "Dude, we're going to paint Birmingham. Get dressed, dog. We're going to paint it." They're all excited. Now we're coming into this time of year. Just before season opens, we're coming into pre-rut, beginning of the pre-rut, entering into season. Have you ever wondered why they open season when they open it? Now watch. What happens is, them bucks come to you this time of year, first part of October, and they say, "Man, let's go to Birmingham." Something is happening with that buck. That buck is getting ready to come out of velvet, and he's getting irritable. And he's all getting irritable, and he's tired and fed up with these kids here running around partying all the time. He pulls the keys out of his apartment, out to the apartment. He says, "I'm out of here. I've had it up to here with your foolishness and your loud music and your running around. Dude, I'm fed up with you." The first buck, as a general rule, that will lead the bachelor groups is going to tend to be your oldest and more mature buck. He's coming out of velvet. How many of you ever played softball, baseball? Slide into second base, you get that strawberry burn, then it gets gooey, then it gets a scab, and you start picking at it. How many of you remember your mama telling you, "Boy, if you don't quit picking at that scab, it's going to leave a scar." Why are you I'm licking it. Why are you? I got a dog. I got 6, 7 dogs. Why are you picking at it? Because it's drying, it's healing, and it's itching. Velvet is like a scab. When that blood supply comes out of that velvet, it starts cracking up, he's getting irritable. So as a general rule, the first buck is a general rule. Notice when I tell you that. As a general rule, that buck is first to break out. So now, what he does, he throws the keys down and says, "I'm out of here." He leaves the apartment. He don't have a roof over his head. So the very first thing that buck does is he's going to go build him a house where he's going to live during the rut. When is the rut in the state of Alabama? The entire season. Now watch. Very first thing that buck's going to do, Jacob, you're going to come up to a tree. You're going to come up to a tree here. You're going to take your horns, your antlers, you're going to hook a tree. Now we call that a what? Rub. Now, University of Georgia, they call that signposting. Of course, they get big bucks for that, but us common folk, we know it as a what? As a rub. So he hooks a tree, and what he's doing, he's fixing to frame him up a house. You're going to come up to a tree, you're going to hook it. You're not only doing it to frame it, but you're also doing it to take the velvet off. And as a general rule, you're going to stay with it, maybe not that tree, but you're going to kind of stay with it till you get that velvet off because you're irritable. You hook a tree, he's going to nail a stud up. He's going to frame him a house. He's going to go down the ridge, he's going to come up, he's going to rub another tree, he's going to nail another stud up. He's going to cross the branch, he's going to come up. Have you guys been down here long enough to get the branch down too? I've been up there in the north. I was in Canton, New York not long ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they kept wondering, why is it so important this deer cross this limb? This, you know, of course we know what's a branch. It's a creek. Not a creek, but a creek, right? So he crosses this branch, he comes up, he hooks another tree. He'll go all the way around a perimeter, and like this building, he'll stud a house. Now guys, watch this. A lot of people ask me, will they get all caught up on how big's the house? It doesn't matter. You say, no, big house. I want everybody to look around the room. You may know the men here, you may not. But you take a gander, look around this room, I guarantee you, the size house you live in don't make you dominant. The size of the house is topography, you know, ratio. But so don't get so hung up on how big it is, but that it is. So what he's doing, he's framing up a house. Now, Jacob, pre-rut, you're coming out of velvet, you're making your rub line, you stud it. It's just you and me, dog. It's been a year. You with me? It's been a year. Okay, I didn't know if you was I didn't know if you was following, acknowledging me over here. All right, so it's been a year. This buck is out of velvet. Can't you see him? He's in his little bow tie. He's got his tux on. That dude's outside in the truck, and he's got that motor ribbed up, dude. He's in the limo. He's ready to go to the prom. Problem is, he ain't got no what? No date. No doe in what? Estrus. That buck, he's out of velvet. He's going along. He can breed, no does to breed. He goes along. He's going to take his front feet. They're doing it right now on your property. They'll go along. He'll take his front feet. He'll paw at the ground. University of Georgia calls this a secondary scrape. Pre-rut. Secondary scrape. I call it a frustration scrape. Been a year. You're a little frustrated. So what happens is, that buck, he's going along the wall. Can't you see him? Dad blame it, you know, and he's going along there, and he'll go down the ridge, he'll come up to another one, and he'll hit it. Dad blame it, he'll hit it, and he'll leave. How many turkey hunters we got in here? These are little scrapes. You'll swear it's where a turkey scratched. That buck right there may have 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 of these little frustration scrapes, secondary scrapes, pre-rut along that house. So let's say we got, you two guys hunt together? You do now. First name?
PJ. Jacob.
PJ and Jacob. Popular. Little Jacob. So old PJ and Jacob here, they've been hunting since they were this high together. Best buddies. 1 week before season comes in, which is when? Now. Right now. They're on your piece of property, and them two men right there, old PJ right there, they're cutting a little firewood. It's going to get cold sooner or later, so they're cutting a little firewood. PJ breaks a sweat, and he don't want to cut firewood no more. You know what I'm saying, Jake? So he says, hey, why don't we go do some scouting? So PJ, he's just glad he ain't cutting wood. He's out walking your piece of property. He walks along, and he sees a rub on a tree. That's today, 1 week. He looks at that rub, and he's thinking to himself, man, that can't be no rub, because it's not the what? Not the rut. He said, oh, man, that's last year's, right, guys? So he gets to walk in, he looks down, he looks up, and here's another one. He's thinking to himself, man, that can't be no rub. And he gets to looking, and there's that fence road going down through there. How many of you ever seen that fence road going down through the line of them? Raise your hands. Let the people see it, see? So now, your best buddy's Mr. Hunter. He's got him a screwed up buck. Got that rub line. Now he's slipping down through the woods. He's Mr. Hunter, steps right in the middle of one of them little frustration scrapes. He's thinking to himself, my Lord, I got a screwed up buck. I got a buck thinks it's a rut. He said, now I know that may be a rub line, but I know dang well it ain't no scrape because it's not the what? 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, man, this boy is pumped up. He's got him a screwed up buck, comes back to camp. His best friend in life's got him a potty meat sandwich made. You guys been down here long enough to get you some potty meat? You hadn't lived till you try to tell somebody in Canton, New York what potty meat is. I finally just said it's like spoiled spam. So he got him a potty, it was good stuff now, ain't. So, right? So he looks at his best friend and he says, man, here's your sandwich. He said, PJ, you see anything? And that man looks at his best friend in life, drops his head, says, man, I didn't see nothing. How many of you in this room has ever scouted, pre-rut, found the rub line, found them little frustration scrapes, secondary scrapes, got all excited you wouldn't tell your mama what you found? Because opening day of bow season, what you gonna do? How many of you sit there all day, all week and not see nothing? The rest of you lying. Why? Why is it that in pre-rut we see all of this activity and it's hard to see the buck? Because we're treating that frustration, that secondary scrape, as though it was a primary scrape. You remember me telling you as a general rule he's not marking it? And if he's not marking it, no reason to what? Check it. So most hunters don't show a distinction here. So they hunt it, they sit on it, they get aggravated with it, and it's not productive, so they quit hunting rubs and scrapes. But now watch what happens. As we leave pre-rut, Jacob, just before we get to the peak, what this buck's going to do, his neck's going to start swelling. And when that neck starts swelling, what that buck's going to do, he's going to open him up what the University of Georgia calls a primary scrape. A primary scrape is always underneath what? What he's going to do, you're going to go along the wall there, Jacob. You're going to open up one of these frustration scrapes, or you may ignore it and open up you another one. Now, University of Georgia calls this a primary scrape, always underneath an overhanging limb. Now, this is the one he's going to mark. This is the one he's going to check. Now, if you're not sure if it is, all you got to do is get you a limb. Well, first of all you got to do is just get from here to there, downwind, and smell. You'll smell it. How many of you brim fish? When brim go on bed, you get in that backwater, you can smell them. All you got to do is just stick your head down like that and you can smell him. Now, if you're not sure, get you a limb, completely cover that bad boy up. I mean covered up. A buck is like a bass. How many bass fishermen we got? You throw something in a bass bed, what's it going to do? We'll take it out. Don't be scared, cover it up. If he's working, he's going to open it up. All right? Now, watch this. This is the one he's going to mark. Now, the University of Georgia calls it a primary scrape. Now, everybody follow my analogy because we're fixing to get ready here in just a second to shoot this buck. They call it a primary scrape. I call it a master bedroom. This is the one he's going to mark. Jacob, you want to show them how a buck marks a scrape? Lloyd's heard this. We were doing a seminar at Bass Pro, and I picked the big buck. I didn't know he was drunk. Dude, 3 men. It took 3 men to get him off that stage. Dude, he was going to show them how a buck marked a scrape. Here's the way a buck marks a scrape. I don't know if you can see. Any buck in this room, it's called rub urination. A buck primarily only does it in the fall. A doe will do it 365 days a year. Research shows a doe's going to do it within the first 30 minutes from the time she stands up and leaves her bed. She's going to put her makeup on. I call it a southern lady thing. A southern lady's going to put her makeup on to go to Walmart. She's putting her identity on. A doe, she gets up, she puts that she'll rub urinate to show status. She comes in contact with another mature doe, she'll rub show status. A buck primarily does it in the fall. With that buck, Jacob, what you're going to do, you're going to come along the wall and you're going to, for the first time, open up a master bedroom. University of Georgia calls this a no tolerance zone. This is the one he's going to mark. Here's how you do it. Neck swollen. You're going to urinate over the tarsal. You guys call them tarsal or hocks? You're going to urinate over the tarsals. Tarsals are a tuft of hair, secretes a musk over the back inside leg of the deer. The rutting odor is when his neck's swollen. He's going to urinate over the tarsals. He's going to rub his legs together so I can get you an education. You hear me? Tough way to make a living. He urinates over his tarsals, neck swollen, urine with the musk onto the scrape. How many of you ever seen a buck do this in a scrape?
Put that 1 foot down.
It's called interdigital. This year you kill a buck, spread the hoof, get you a knife, kind of dig down a little bit. It's called an interdigital. He has now put his fingerprint. So he has now put his personal rutting odor, and he has designated in this house a master bedroom. University of Georgia calls it a no tolerance zone. During pre-rut, that buck will still let any of these bucks come into the den and watch Monday Night Football in pre-rut inside your house. Dude, once you master bedroom don't come, bring your butt down the hall. By the way, have you guys ever wondered why we call it the master bedroom? Why don't we call it Pee-wee bedroom? Why don't we call it the little man bedroom? Because as humans, we place a reverence on that room versus any other room in the house. And if you don't believe that, we can all go get on a bus tonight and go anywhere in Jasper, teenagers up, these young men up, and we can walk into anybody's house, don't even know them, and walk in and go, that's the master bedroom. Because we as humans, we place a reverence on that. Does that make sense? All right, now watch this. So when that buck marks this master bedroom with his personal rutting odor, he does it for 2 simple reasons. First is to tell every buck in this room, keep your butt out of here. No more Monday Night Football. Second reason you do it, Jacob, is to tell every doe in here, baby, come see me. All right, baby, come see me. Every doe in Jasper. The wind's going this way. It's hitting me from behind my head, going that way to the front door. Which way's downwind? All right. Deer has 3 defenses. Ears, eyes, nose. What's the most important? Nose. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Ears, eyes, nose. There is absolutely no difference in a deer killing that buck in South Alabama or in Kansas or in Michigan or Indiana or Minnesota or Manitoba, Canada. Ears, eyes, nose. The only difference is topography and pressure. It's how you set up on that deer and pressure. Same 3 defenses, all right? So what happens is, ears, eyes, nose, you mark your primary scrape, your master bedroom. Which way is he going to check his bedroom? Wind's going that way. Which way is he going to check his master bedroom? Downwind. Everybody knows that. Now watch this. A doe comes in and she smells his rutting odor in this master bedroom, and if she likes it, what would possess her to, I don't know, it stinks. She comes in, she's going to come into this master bedroom, this scrape, she's going to do 1 of 2 things. She's either going to urinate in it and or put droppings in it. How many of you have ever found droppings in a scrape? What she does, she'll come downwind, she smells that rutting odor, she likes it. She'll come in there and she'll urinate, and she'll put droppings in it, she'll pull out a business card. She'll go off over and browse or bed. When that buck goes downwind, what's he wanting to smell? The calling card. Trails the doe up and he breeds her. That's the way the good Lord designed it. Does that make sense? Now watch this. We're fixing to shoot this buck. The best chance to kill a big buck is here. You can kill him all year long. How many of you guys use deer scent? How many of you ever used it? Have you guys ever wondered how they collect deer urine? Well, if you have or if you hadn't, it's your lucky night, because I'm going to tell you. I've been doing this, like I said, 31 years. How many of you guys ever heard of Tank 69? I bottled that for years. How many of you ever heard of Code Blue? That's my patent. I started it. I have bottled millions, literally millions of bottles of deer lure. Here's the way the industry collects deer urine. They say tonight, they say, guys, we appreciate you coming, and we do. Man, we got pizza, and we still have some over there. We got, man, those cookies are good. We got plenty of water, but we don't want you to hydrate. But before you leave, we're going to have 2 drums at the front door, and we want you to donate. Men on this side and women on this side. We're going to fill them drums up with urine. Did you guys know that a 55-gallon drum of deer urine will bottle 7,040 1-ounce bottles? And did you know if you opened them up and looked at it and smelled them, they all smell the same? You know why? It's a blend of this many bucks or this many does over, you ain't going to fill that drum up overnight. Blend it. Oh, by the way, when you buy deer scent, guys, what color is it? It's dark brown. The reason for it, it's ammoniated. So watch this. So we get everybody in there. That's the way they collect deer urine. Now what you don't know is when I bottle tinks, I batch 10 drums a day. I bottle 70,000 plus bottles a day. All the same smell. So I stepped away to introduce Code Blue, wherever it is. Code Blue, the patent is single urine. Every bottle's from a different deer. One buck, one bottle, different bottle, one doe, one bottle, different doe, different bottle. Common sense says one's better than a blend. You say, oh, Don, that don't matter. Really, I'm a buck. Let's just say, first of all, if it is not, and hear what I'm telling you, if it is not Code Blue or Top Secret Deer Scent, it is a blend of urines. All right, let's just say tinks because I bottled it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6. I'm a buck. I come into this man here. He stands up to shoot me and his stand squeaks. Everybody's using tinks, all hunting a ridge. He spooks me, dude. I blow, I go 600 yards down the ridge to this man. When I get to him, guess what I'm going to do when I get to him? I'm going to do what? I'm going to blow. Guess what I'm going to do when I get to him and to him and to him? And bless her heart, she don't even know him. That's the reason people that hunt in clubs together don't want to hunt the same scent, because the other guys screw you up. Now watch this. Don't let me get away with nothing. Same buck, same hunters, same buck, Code Blue. I'm a buck. I come into you, you stand up, your stand squeaks, dude, I blow. Whew. I go 600 yards down the ridge to you, I get to you and I calm down. Why? Different deer, different deer, different deer, different deer, different deer. Does that make sense? Absolutely changed the scent industry, Top Secret did. The finest scent that's ever hit this industry until 3 years ago. What do you notice about that urine? What? It's yellow. What color did you say when you open a bottle of deer scent, what color is it? It is brown. You know why? Because it is ammoniated. Oxygen ammoniates urine. This is patented 4 different ways. This has never seen oxygen. By the way, Code Blue is $12.95 an ounce. That's $14.95 for 3 ounces. That's $5 an ounce. That's never seen oxygen. Now let me show you how important that is. Dark urine, let me give somebody else, PJ. What was it in? First name? PJ. PJ, I thought it was. All right, PJ, here's what we want you to do. I'm going to give you a break. Tomorrow morning, you need to put this on Facebook. Tomorrow morning, get you a clear jar. I want every person in this room get you a clear jar in the morning. And I want you to urinate in it. And I want to listen to me. Guys, I'm fixing to kill this buck. You need to hear what I'm telling you. I'm not just being cute. I'm telling you how to kill a buck. You urinate in that jar tomorrow morning. It should be a clear yellow. If it is not, you may want to have it checked. All urine voided is sterile. Dog, cat, human, elephant, giraffe is sterile. That's the reason you see nuts on TV drinking the urine. You don't see them drinking it 2-3 days later, do you? So what happens tomorrow morning? Somebody take me up on this. Do it. I'm either going to look like an idiot or you're going to learn something. Urinate in that tomorrow morning. It will be a clear yellow at 6 o'clock in the morning. You watch your urine in the course of the day. It's going to go from a natural clear yellow, natural smell to darkening to a dark brown ammonia smell. Dark urine says PJ was there, but he's not there now. He was there this morning, but he's not there now. Does that make sense? Clear yellow urine says you're there now, not that you weren't there. Now, if you're going to go freeze and climb a tree in Alabama in the rain, do you want a deer to say that you're there now or that you were there? See my point? Now watch this. This, you open it, you got to open it to hunt it. But if you open it, dude, that's bad, because guess what you just did? You put oxygen in it, which means it's going to change color. And if you don't believe that, get this, open it, close it. Tomorrow morning, it'll be brown. So let's all go hunting. This is called a scent saver. Oxygen free, patented 4 different ways. Guys, 109 television shows we're sponsoring. You can't turn on a TV on Outdoor Sportsman Pursuit or Wild TV without seeing this. Let's go hunting. We're all going hunting tomorrow. You're going to open this bottle. You're going to get a scent saver. This is a one-time purchase. This will last you for years. You take this 3-ounce bottle. You pour it in here. I'll let you help me. You're going to open it up. You're going to pour it in. You're going to plug it. And then you're going to vacuum it out. It's a scent saver system. You're going to vacuum it out. You cannot over pump it because it'll click. See if you guys hear it in the back. Pull on that. There's no oxygen. Listen. Now you don't want to do that. You'll sound like Lawrence Welk. You guys don't even know who Lawrence Welk is, do you? You don't, do you? You can't make this up. The other night I was in Black Duck, Minnesota. Dude, that's in the middle of nowhere. I walked in, 3 channels, turned it on, and so help me, Lawrence Welk was on. Big band era. Here you go. You vacuum it out. You're ready to go hunting tomorrow, next week, next month. There's no oxygen. You do not want to go hunting in the morning and do this. Makes too much noise. Here's what you do. You plug it. You pump it out. There's a nipple on the top. You can push it and pull it in any direction and it'll go ch. You guys hear it? You use it just like you normally would. You plug it, you pump it out. You don't pump it out, it's going to change color on you. It's going to go ammoniate on you. Pull your little pump out, 3 or 4 pumps, no oxygen. So for the first time in the industry, you can start with no oxygen and use it all the way down and it still be yellow. Does that make sense? That has 3 ounces. That's 3 ounces, this is 3 ounces. Yep. Now, the second thing is we have it in foam. The new Alabama record was taken with that, with what was that, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, little boy out of Birmingham there, with that right there. This is 8 ounces, 1995, 300 pumps. I don't have any napkins. You got any napkins? Paper towels or something? Just to where you think I'm not stupid, everybody look at that. You can throw it to me. I wonder if you do it. He thought about it though, dude. I better not give the store away. All right. I'm going to let you hand it to me. Don't let me get away with nothing. 8 ounces, 300 pumps, $20, $19.95. That's an S. You know why it's an S? Because this doesn't have the urine in it, because if it don't, that crazy sucker will try to get a live one and I'll be pumping urine on me. So here's the way this works. Watch this. First time it sees oxygen is when I pump it. Want to know where your scent is? There it is. You hear how quiet it gets? Now watch this. How many of you guys in here use a scent drag? Don't let me get away with nothing, because we're killing you. You get out of your truck, you take scent, you put it on the scent drag, and I trail it over here across the road and I get up in a tree. Which way is the freshest? where I started. Right, guys? All hunters know that. Now watch this. I'm a buck. I come walking down this way. You're in your stand. I hit that trail. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn and go to your truck and drink your coffee while you freeze your butt off. Is that not true? You want to know why? Guys, you want to know why 109 television shows? Watch this. Don't let me get away with nothing. First time it sees oxygen is when I pump it. Get out, you walk a ways, you pump it. 15, 20 yards, 15, 20 yards, 15, 20 yards, 15, 20 yards, that way. This one's fresher than this one's fresher than that, this one's fresher than this, because this one hit oxygen when? First. Same buck. I hit that trail, which way am I going to go? I'm going to go to you. Oxygen free. That's the key. It's a game changer. It's directional. Watch this. How many of you use a grunt call? How many of you bought it here? Yeah. Watch this. You come in and they said, man, look, you buy you one of these grunt calls right there, $20 grunt call, man, you kill you a big old buck. You get up in the tree and grunt like a pig, you kill you a buck. How many of you guys pay $20 for that grunt call, got up in the tree and you grunted like a pig and you ain't never seen no stinking buck? Raise your hands. See, now the rest of you lying again. Why is it that when you get in a tree and you grunt, you don't see a buck? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Hey, let me, on that, do not ever put this on your feet. I mean, why would you? Have you ever gotten in a truck and turned that heater on? Dude, that'll make that vein of sausage stink. You put it on your boot, your boot's on your foot, foot's in a tree. I'm a buck. The closer I get to you and higher in the wind, I'm smelling it. What's behind my nose? I had a buck look at me. I guess so. You got it on your boot, boot's on your foot, foot's in a tree. Hunters put scent and they hang it up in a tree. Now don't say if you do this. Deer don't urinate up in a tree. They urinate on the ground 365 days a year. You're putting it high thinking the further it'll go. All you're going to do is make the deer look at you. You don't see coyotes urinating in a tree, do you? I mean, think about it. All right? Now, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know, but I am telling you chronologically. So, you get up in the tree and you grunt. The number one, if you put a gun to my head tonight and said, if you don't kill a buck, put me anywhere in North America, you got one chance to kill a buck or I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to grab buck urine. I'll take buck urine over estrus anywhere, anytime in this country, with the exception of right here. But I'll never quit using buck. Here's why. If you're waiting to hear, tell me the truth, 85, 90% of your scent sales is in about a 4-week window. You know why? Everybody thinks this is the what? They think that's the rut. Oh, have you ever heard anybody say, now I know you didn't say it, but have you ever heard anybody say, you know, the weather had the rut all screwed up. It came in late last year. Season opened up late last year. They're talking about this. They're missing 2/3 of the hunting season. Buck urine. You take buck urine, open a day of bow season, you put buck urine out. Any buck in this room is going to come to it. Buck urine. Any day you start, and if you can legally hunt every day of those you're retired and you're going to hunt every day of the season, buck urine. It's going to start good and it's going to get better. When you pour it out today, little buck, big buck, any buck in this room is going to come to this. Open a day in pre-rut, they're not coming to fight. They just want to see who the new kid on the block is because they're still in pecking orders. Right? Now you don't care, you just want to shoot him. Any buck could come to it. Watch this. The closer he gets to the peak of the rut, and you put it in that master bedroom, that's like coming home smelling Old Spice, knowing you don't wear Old Spice. You say, oh, Don, that don't matter. Really. Somebody in here tomorrow, go over here to CVS at noon and walk in and smell Old Spice. Next guy walks by. I bet ain't a man in here is going to turn around and knock that man upside the head. We'll watch you on Fox News tomorrow night. You're not mad? But let your buck go home tomorrow night after the football game at 12:30 and walk in your master bedroom, the lights out, and smell Old Spice. Oh, now, dude, you've been out of shape. Same stuff. The only difference is it's not what you smell, but when and where you smell it. Does that make sense? Buck urine is going to start good. It's going to get better. You get up in a tree and you grunt. Get up in a tree, wherever the grunts are. How many of you use a grunt? All right, now look at me. I do not have a dog in this fight. We do not manufacture a grunt call. Get you a grunt call. You're sitting up in a tree, deer are feeding past you. You grunt, he's going to go downwind. Those of you that said you've grunted and you've never seen a deer, you get up in a tree, 95% of the grunts in this store is a tending grunt. That's a buck tending a doe. I don't care what it's made of, what color, it's a tending doe. Buck tending grunt, buck tending a doe. Wind's going that way, I get up in the tree and I hope big buck's over there. I don't know that he is, I hope he is. I just grunted. What did I just tell that buck? I told him what? I told him where I at, but I told him, where am I at? I'm in his bedroom tending a doe. Whose doe? His doe. Guys, that's an infringement. Boom. Is he coming here or is he going downwind? You can whip this with this. You can whip this with that. You can whip that with a decoy. This keeps his butt alive. Boom. You don't even know it. You hope he's there. Big buck there, he's going downwind. It's called fleaming. How many of you ever seen a buck fleam curl the upper lip? Kill your buck this year, open the palate, top palate, you're going to see like a little hole. It's almost like a little diamond shape. Sole purpose of that sucker is to read urine. He can tell whether she's in estrus or he's in rut. So he's going downwind. You may see him, you may not. He goes downwind, he fleams. Now what he's trying to do is to smell what he's hearing, and what he heard was a buck in his bedroom. You get downwind, the number one sin in America sold is what? Estrus, here. So you don't have buck urine out, he goes downwind, his nose overrides his ears, and you're sitting up in the tree going, this sucker don't work. Or you grunt and you're using estrus, buck goes downwind. That'd be like you coming home after the seminar tonight, you smell Old Spice cologne, flip the light on, see your wife. You ain't looking for your wife, are you? Who you looking for? You're looking for Old Spice. He's got to have the buck urine to do this, or he's going to hang up on you more times than not. Does that make sense? Now watch, it's going to start good and it's going to get better. If you do this, which we were talking earlier, how many of you have ever rattled a buck up in Alabama? It's tough to do, ain't it? You know why? It's a ratio. But, you know, better luck in Michigan, even to a certain extent in Indiana. You can go to Texas, man, and just touch them together. They'll be on you. First of all, back to this. Have you ever seen a grunt call? Where are you grunts? Where are your grunt calls? Right there. All right. You need to get you a grunt call. Seriously, guys. It doesn't matter. If you go over there, I want you to look at the names of them. Have you ever seen a grunt call called baby boy, little man, tiny? What do they call it? Big buck, dominant buck. Don't make a bit of difference. Oh, no, 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 no. If it ain't a big buck, another big buck ain't going to come to it. You go home after this seminar tonight and you walk in and you smell Old Spice cologne, you flip that light on. Guys, do you give a rat's butt if you found Pee Wee Herman or Superman? Now, it'd break my heart just a little bit if I found Pee Wee Herman. You know? Hurt my self-esteem a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's a teenager or if it's a grown man. It is not who but where. Make sense? Get you a grunt call. If you don't, they're going to be walking past you. All right? Get up and you grunt. You take buck urine, you trail it in. You come to his master bedroom, pre-rut, you can make you scrapes with it. My Lord, how many of you hunted somewhere and you think, man, this is a great place for a scrape. Why aren't I seeing scrapes here? Or there were scrapes there last year. Make you a scrape this year with it. That sucker don't know. All right? Primary scrape, we've even stuck, how many of you guys remember Ben Lee? We used to take limbs and stick in trees over a mock scrape. They don't know it. It's what they're smelling. It's all of it together. Get you a grunt call. This, guys, you do not have to come down loud. You know, people go, there's a rhythm to it, right? They say, how many of you don't have to do this? How many of you ever climbed? See if we can get one in here tonight. Has anybody in this room ever climbed with a climber, click, 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 and have a buck come in on you? You see there? 2. There's 2 right here. I get them all the time. Click, click. They don't care if they're sparring, if they're fighting. It's not where they're doing it. It's not who's doing it, but where they're doing it, which is in his bedroom, which is an infringement. Okay? Makes sense? Got to have buck urine. 2 bucks are fighting. What are they fighting over? Doe. Whose doe? His doe. Downwind. He's got to smell what he's hearing, or this is going to override that. Make sense? All right. We also have what does that look like? We're going to knock you in the head for a whole total of $29 for that. It's 5 ounces. Never seen oxygen. Why in the Sam heck do I want that? Would you agree with me that dark urine says a deer was there? Don't it change your mind? Now clear yellow urine says he's there now? 9 television shows. 21,537 spots. We're telling everybody. We know what this is. But watch. You climb up in a tree. You take this bottle and you pour it out. First time it sees oxygen is when it hits the ground. You go climb up in a tree. You're there 4 hours. That urine is now 4 hours old. Phenomenally better than anybody else's, but it's 4 hours old. You hang this up, 5 ounces. You can drip it as fast or as slow as you want. Each time it drips is the first time it sees oxygen. The whole time you're sitting there, you got a deer standing there. That's the difference. It comes in estrus and it comes in buck. All right? Guys, does this make sense? All right. Here's what you do. How many of you in here has ever had a nocturnal buck on you? Everybody? You can't hardly grunt him out. You can't hardly rattle him out. He's done got old enough. He's had pressure on him. You see him on the camera, but you never see him. Here's how you can kill him. It will not work every time, but it'll work a lot of times, and it'll work anywhere in North America. If you live close enough to where you hunt, here's what I want you to do. Master bedroom. I want you to kill your human odor. Can you throw me that spray right there? Yep, thank you. You need to kill your human odor. How many of you kill your human odor? Ears, eyes, what? Nose. Need to kill your human odor. See all that? That kills human odor. All of that kills human odor. All of this kills human odor. Scent defense. This kills human odor. It's called 3-in-1. It not only kills human odor, it repels ticks, 100% natural, ticks, mosquitoes, chiggers, even bed bugs, believe it or not. Plus, it is an attractant. You can spray this on the ground. Any deer will come to it. Fawn, doe, buck, 12 months out of the year. It has nothing to do with deer season. They'll come in with a tongue stuck out doing this. You don't care why he's doing it, do you? You just want to shoot him. This kills odor, repels ticks, mosquitoes, any kind of biting insect, plus an attractant. Kill your human odor. Here's what I want you to do. Here's how you get the big buck nocturnal. Master bedroom. You take buck urine. By the way, how much deer scent do you use? Well, better yet, let me ask the guys here at the store, how much deer scent should they use in that? The whole what? The whole bottle. Thank you. Any questions on that? Any questions on that? This, guys, if you can smell it good, he can smell it great. The hotter it is, the more you're going to have to use. The colder it is, the less you're going to have to use. The hotter, the shorter it's going to last, the quicker it's going to ammoniate. The colder it is, the longer it's going to last, the slower it's going to ammoniate. Okay? Watch this. You kill your human odor. You know he's tearing it up at night. You're going to hunt Saturday. Let's start Wednesday. I don't care what time of day you do this. It can be at daylight, it could be at noon, it could be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't care. But you got to be consistent every day. So let's say you hunt, 30 miles from where you hunt. So at 6 o'clock, daylight, you killed your human odor. You go in his master bedroom, you take buck urine, and you load that bedroom up. I'm not being stingy now. I know I got a good buck. I'm going to put some buck urine and I'm going to leave. You know what that buck's going to do when he comes in that night? He's going to tear that sucker all to pieces and he's going to say, hey, get your butt out of here. And he's going to re-urinate and mark in it. Next morning, Thursday morning, 6 o'clock, dude, kill your human odor, right back in his face, same buck. Right back in his bedroom, you leave. That buck's going to come in Thursday night. I told your butt to get out of here, dude. He's going to tear it up. It's going to get bigger and deeper. Friday, Saturday morning, kill your human odor, trail your buck urine in, get up and grunt. You say, oh, well, that won't work. Anybody in here work shift work? Big buck. You know it'd be the big buck. All right, you're all shift workers. Men, you come home Wednesday night at 11:15 and you can smell Old Spice cologne just like that sucker went out the bathroom window. Man, you have your say about it. Hey, dude, look here. When you tear that house apart and you say, look, Thursday night, 11:15, it's just like that sucker went out the bathroom window. Friday, just like that sucker went out the bathroom window. How many of you men in here is going to punch out early Saturday and come home early? Watch. You pour that urine out every day at the same time. First time it sees oxygen. The closer he comes to that, the fresher it is. Does that make sense? Now, if you use ammoniated urine, it don't matter. It's already ammoniated. He don't know when you're there. You pour this out every day at the same time, the closer he gets to it, the closer that nose says he's catching you. Just like you punching out and coming home early, he's going to punch out and come home early. The key to it is no oxygen. Does that make sense? That's right. That's the reason why you got to kill your human. That's the reason you got to kill your human odor and get in there and get in and get out. Now, all of that depends on where you hunt. If you hunt by yourself, give you an example of that, guys. How many of you hunt Canada? Anybody hunt Canada? For that matter, some good guides in the States. You can go to your shooting house every afternoon. Go in there, open the door, drive up and go up in there, take the door and slam it. Boom. Go in, do it, and leave. You can do that every day. All you're doing is conditioning him to that boom. Ain't nothing bothering him. But it depends on the pressure and what you're at. But now watch. You get up in the tree, you grunt. You come in. How many of you guys have ever, well, first of all, how many of you hunt food plots? What's the first thing comes in a green field? Does. What's the second thing comes in a green field? Coyotes. Little basket bucks. You know why? They ain't got no better sense to get out there because some redneck's going to blow his head off. If you're lucky, right at dark, what do you get to see? Maybe. Big boy. You know why Big Boy's doing that? Because he's got better sense than to run them does out there. But they will do it. But as a general rule, what's going to happen? How many of you got shooting houses on the green fields? You want to kill that big buck? Get out of that shooting house. Go 100, 200 yards off that field. What that buck is doing, the reason you're seeing him at dark, he's staging darkness to the field. He's staging darkness to the field. You sit here, it's going to be dark. You go off 200 yards, let them does come by you, let them little bucks come by you get to kill him back there. But tell somebody who planted that green field and got them a nice warm shooting house to get up in it, to get out of it and go 200 yards get in the rain. Hard to do. But if you want to kill a big boy, he's going to be back there. Does that make sense? Let me close with this. And this, I forget your first name again. Philip. Philip and I were talking about this before the seminar. Everybody, you hunt in a green field. You're rifle hunting. Pick your distance, I don't care. 50 yards, 100 yards, 200 yards. You're sitting there and you look up and dude, that middle buck there steps out. And you're going, good Lord, and he turns and steps right back in the woods. You're thinking, man, he's fixing to step out. So you bring that rifle up and you get right about here and you're unlucky and you hear, whew. What do? What? What'd you say? My son's 31 now. He's been shooting the same 270 since he was 8. You can call him. He was taught at 8 years old. You can do this in Alabama. May not can do it in Michigan and Indiana. You know what he was taught to do? Whew, whew, boom! You're going to blow her head off. Try to get a hunter to shoot that stinking doe with you got a once-in-a-lifetime buck 50, 100 yards out there in the woods. They ain't going to do it. How many of you would shoot that doe? Watch this. Boom! That buck's going to break. Right back to eating. Didn't bother him. He will bolt. He'll bolt and run. He'll stop. Because a buck will not run into danger. He don't know where it come from. So he ain't going to run into it, so he'll stop. You let that doe stand there and blow, and he'll go to New York. He knows what that is. I'd rather spook that big buck right yonder than I had a mature doe anytime. Because she ain't going to give it up. She'll come by and say, look yonder. Look at that guy up there. She'll point at you. It's rude. She'll just point at you. A buck, as soon as he realizes this, he's get right back to what he's doing. White-tailed deer are habitual. They're phenomenally hard to kill. They're phenomenally smart. They're also habitual, cause and effect. And all I've done tonight is told you cause and effect. You can kill that buck on your piece of property. I can kill him on your piece of property. I can kill him in Michigan. I can kill him in Indiana. I can kill him in Manitoba. Ears, eyes, nose. Pre, peak, post mindset. Does that make sense? Let me stop a second and give a chance to ask some questions, guys. You guys feel free to ask any kind of questions you want. And let me tell you, if you ask a question, I'll say it out loud. This is an opportunity to somebody, and there is no such thing as a stupid question. You may, in an hour, you cannot you can't cover everything. So you guys feel free to ask any kind of questions you want. Anybody have any kind of questions? You guys feel free.
Aroma for each 3 phases of the rut.
Does a buck have a different aroma? And the answer to that would be yes. If you take a buck just regular buck urine, and then once he starts that rub urination, because a buck primarily rubs fall, and then of course the bigger the buck and the more age he is, the more he's going to rub urinate and the more he's going to stink. So you've got a combination of that.
You're talking about that limb over that scrape. That buck always urinates in that scrape, puts his pooper, and then takes it and rubs that limb with his eye.
Yes, sir. You'll see that, and a lot of times I get asked, well, how important is that? University of Georgia, some of the leading experts in the country on white-tailed deer, but nearly all the research shows that your primary scent is urine musk. The eye gland, is communal. How many of you ever seen a buck, a little basket buck, walk up to a rub, and he starts doing that, and you're thinking, no way. There ain't no way in the world that could be that buck. Or you see one come into a scrape, and an hour later, here comes another basket buck into the scrape. That doesn't mean it's his. If he urinates in it, it's either his or he thinks he's a bad motor scooter. You see what I'm saying? Bucks are like men. Men are like bucks, sort of. If men were just like bucks, every telephone pole up and down the interstate would be tore up. And if you look at some of them, they are scarred. But bucks are like men. Bucks are like men. Seriously, guys, think about this. I can come up to you and say, sir, you have a beautiful wife. Don, thank you. Sir, you have a beautiful wife. Thank you. Sir, you have a beautiful wife. And he wants to take my dang head off. His jealousy level's different. I have seen bucks break and run from a primary scrape out there to the parking lot out there to run a buck off. Then I've seen other bucks let young bucks come in through the bedroom, through the house there, with their tail tucked, showing submission, like I ain't looking. And he knew who he was. You know, do you guys work anywhere with a guy that says manager, and he says, hey, can't you see? Can't you read? Dude, it says manager. Guess what? He's not in what? If he's got to tell you he's in charge, he's not in charge. That buck, some of them are little like men. The jealousy level is a little different. So that no tolerance zone is protected more aggressively than others. Ears, eyes, nose. Ears, eyes, nose. Buck urine every day of the year. Once he starts chasing a doe, do estrus. By the way, you get up in the tree and you grunt. What did I just tell that buck? Buck's chasing a doe. Watch this. Buck urine, estrus. I get out of the truck, I'll kill my odor, I walk, I take buck urine, I foam it on the ground. Estrus, buck, estrus, buck, estrus. Guess what I got? I got a buck chasing a doe, and which way are they going? To you. And when you get up in a tree and you grunt, what did I just tell that buck? And he hits that scent, which way is he going to go? He's going to follow that buck chasing that doe, and where's that buck chasing that doe to? To you. Oxygen free. Thus 21,537 spots. This is the future of the scent industry, and we know it. Does it make sense? It ain't complicated, is it? All right, anybody else? You guys feel free. Somebody else, any kind of question, feel free to.
You mentioned when you're in...
I'll repeat it to you where you guys are hearing it back.
You mentioned when you're in the core area that we ought to use the buck scent. Actually, you also said that he's in rut once he sheds his velvet.
Right.
At that point, his testosterone levels have risen to a point where they can do that. Then actually, from then on, he's capable. And
That's right.
you're talking about Georgia, that's largely Dr. Miller.
That's right.
And
Carl.
Dr. Kroll and all
Yep.
that. They will tell you the buck will breed anytime past that.
Yep.
So there is a lot of merit to the...
Oh, yeah. And,
it doesn't have to be the bucks.
no, and it's simple, guys. We're not telling you...
Bucks would generally rather love than fight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Bucks are more concerned with other bucks 99% of the year. We're all thinking this. Dude, you're missing 2/3 of the hunting season. Buck urine. Every day you go in the woods, it's going to get good and it's going to get better. All right?
Didn't you put out too much seed at one time?
The answer to that would be what?
Never.
Look, no, it's a good question. People ask me that all the time. That's 3 ounces. A deer's going to urinate more than 3 ounces. You can pour that whole bottle out. It is not going to hurt you. You don't need to. We sell deer urine. I'm telling you, you don't have to. I did change that. If you can smell it good, he can smell it great. The hotter it is, the more you're going to have to use. The exception to that is if you got a primary scrape, and then, dude, I'm going to fill his butt up. I ain't going to waste it then. I ain't going to skimp on it. I'm going to pour it out because I know I got a good buck, which is what you're looking for. So, no. You buy it and pour it out, it ain't going to hurt you a bit. In fact, we'd be praying for you, wouldn't we? All right. Somebody else. You guys feel free. Any other questions? Anybody? You guys? Guys, look, we appreciate you coming tonight. Tell your friends about this. It'll make a difference. And I know what you're thinking. No way in the world, dude. I'm telling them. Get you some buck urine. Hunt it every day of the year. Kill your human odor. That'll kill human odor. Ours kills human odor, repels insects, plus it's an attractant. Grunt. I don't make grunt calls. Get you a grunt call. In fact, I'll close with this. I had to show of hands, how many of you use grunt calls? I had about an 80, 85-year-old man in Fort Worth, Texas trophy hunters. Did a seminar. Everybody, man, we sold grunt calls in. Dude, I had them in grunt calls. Dude, everybody there had bought them a grunt call. They were standing up at the table, and it looked like the Red Sea parted. Here's this old man. He come walking right up to the table. He must have been 85. He turned this way, you couldn't see him. He was deaf because he talked real loud. He said, "Sonny boy," and I ain't said boo to him. He said, "Sonny boy," he said, "I've hunted all my life." And he said, "I ain't never grunted like no pig to kill no deer." And I'm thinking, dude, can't you see all these people with all these grunt calls in your hand? And he just went on and on. Now, I'm from Alabama. Yes, sir, no, sir. I wanted to tell that dude, you need to hush. He just went on. Finally, he shut up. Red Sea closed. He left. Red Sea closed. Here's all the people with grunt calls just like you. I'm going to tell you the same thing. Let's say that old man, don't let me get away with nothing. Let's say that old man killed 100,000 deer. You can't kill 100,000 deer, can you? It must have gained more than if you hunted Alabama, Georgia, and poached. Not that you guys know what that is. You can't do it. But let me say, if he killed 100,000, dude, he's hunting a good piece of property. Would you agree with